So for me, high school was liberating. It was fun. In some instances, it was very confusing. And then, the whole thing of, trying to define who I was as a person was challenging. I think one of the interesting phenomenons that occurred, thinking about my dad again, was growing up. My dad was very conservative, mostly because of his upbringing, his spiritual beliefs, and to some degree his time in the Navy of having things a certain way. And as an adolescent, growing up in that type of an household with no buffer of a mom, that became there were conflicts, let's say, from time to time. So I think that my dad during that time was not down with the Black Power movement or those kinds of movements that were sort of outside of the mainstream. That this was the coming of age of the Black Power movement, the Black Panthers, and then of course add to that the Civil Rights Movement. And I remember my dad supporting civil rights in the whole nonviolent thing, but the other phenomenon around some of the other perspectives were difficult for him to take. So we were occasionally in conflict.
Because were you more of a radical?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And and even in high school, I was involved in a newspaper that was actually outside of high school, and again, it taught us a little bit about writing and about the movement and that kind of thing. And a mentor there, who's now deceased, was Richard Harris.
Oh, sure, I know his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of us spent time with him learning about what was happening in South Phoenix and the movement and all of that kind of stuff. And so it kind of gave us a voice. And I think the other thing really that gave me a voice was being involved in the speech and debate team, where there were different events, and one of the events was oratorical speaking. So sometimes teachers were engaged in supporting creating the verbiage that goes on the page that you would speak in a tournament.
Sure.
Or helping, helping you understand the research that need to be done to find the facts to put in a speech or whatnot. So that opened a world for me that I hadn't experienced.